Is one of our hotbeds around here for tornadoes. Jill was on that storm, and right now this is kind of the big broad view of Pickens County. Reform sitting right there near Highway 82. This storm eventually tracking up that way. If we click right there in that box, that is actually our shear marker, and this is going to give us some pretty interesting data on this storm. It's going to help you. Northeast movement 37 miles per hour. The storm right here, this part that we're watching, is about 2.4 miles wide, and we're getting 80+ mile per hour shear. The storm is not very tall, and that's commonplace with the tropical type thunderstorms. First alert weather, the radar is clear this evening. No rain to be found, and we're not expecting any rain for the rest of the evening as we make our way into the weekend. It does look like a small chance of rain will appear as we get into tomorrow. Here's a live look at the UAB campus. 88 degrees, and we're loving the dew point change. Dew point temperatures in the mid 60s. A lot drier air out there. Temperatures in the lower 80s at 7 p.m. and tonight dropping down into the 70s. Tomorrow morning, 72 degrees. That's your overnight low. Back in a few minutes, we'll pinpoint tomorrow's rain chances plus a look at the tropics. Yeah, it just will not stop. You know, a lot of folks remember October hurricane in 1995 known as Opal. So they do happen this time of the year. We're still in hurricane season, and we may have Nate coming up tomorrow. Here's some points I want to share with you. Local impacts. I know a lot of folks are focused on what's going on in the Caribbean. Dry weather through most of Saturday. All right, so you're making your plans this weekend. Most of Saturday should be dry. Football games, race for the cure, looking good. Rain chances increase Sunday into Monday. Quite a bit of a rain increase depending on the exact track of this storm. Landfall along the Gulf Coast Sunday evening. I can't give you specifics on that landfall because frankly, it's just too early. There's so much variation in the forecast models that it could be Louisiana, could be Alabama, could be Florida. I think chances are it's somewhere going to be along the Florida Panhandle, but take that with a grain of salt. Still early. Tropical depression number 16, no strengthening since earlier today. Maximum winds 35 miles per hour. And this is the newer information I shared with you at the top of the newscast. We'll talk a bit more about this strengthening in the central Gulf of Mexico. Did you see that by Saturday night? Maximum winds 80 miles per hour. And then conditions as we get a little bit closer to the panhandle of Florida become not quite as favorable for strengthening. So we may actually see a little bit of weakening. That would be okay, right? 7 p.m. Sunday, there's a landfall somewhere along the Gulf Coast. Now the track taking it toward Pensacola, but keep in mind, we're several days out. This is going to change somewhat because we will get better data as we get closer to the weekend, but it may indeed impact your weekend plans if you have a beach trip. All right, as we get into Monday, quite a bit of rain. Now, most of that rain, I think, would be to the east of us, but still east of Interstate 65, we could see some significant wet weather in that forecast. At this point, I'm not mentioning a threat for severe weather here locally because I don't think that's going to happen. We will monitor for changes. We'll make sure we share that with you with our WBRC First Alert weather app. Lots of updates, and you can see our forecast models. The American model shifting it more to the west. The European models a little bit more to the east. We tend to lean toward those European models because they have performed very well this tropical season. So we'll keep you in the loop on all of that. Lots of updates on social media as well. Current temperature at the airport 66 degrees. No worries with the weather tonight. Clear skies out there. 59 in Coleman, 63 Clanton, 69 in Tuscaloosa, 62 in Anniston. And our rain chances, of course, climbing Sunday into Monday. Keep that in mind. Hour by hour forecast. We'll start the clock early tomorrow morning in the upper 50s toward Gadsden, Anniston, and even Pell City. Tomorrow afternoon in the mid 80s. A lot of sunshine for your Thursday as we get into Friday. A little bit more cloud cover, but no rain for Friday night football games. In fact, if you have any events planned on Saturday, most of Saturday should be dry. Weeds in the high category when it comes to the local pollen counts, and our race for the cure forecast. It looks like generally dry conditions Saturday morning. A little bit of rain toward the afternoon, that's about a 40% chance of rain. Here's our 7-day: 84 on Thursday, 86 on Friday, 85 Saturday, 40% chance of rain. And I have actually elevated that rain chance up a little bit on Monday because of the tropical impact. Just bear in mind our rain chance is climbing on Sunday, with likely a landfalling Gulf Coast hurricanes coming up Sunday night. We'll keep you updated on the First Alert Weather app. 9,100 feet tall. And see the BTI, that's a pretty good indicator. We start to see that trending upward, and that means there's a higher chance that you would have a tornado or moving into a tornado environment. Once that number gets over 5, it really gets our attention. Carrollton, I hope you're in your safe place right now. Reform 341 and Millport at 357. When we see the shear marker, and that's the little kind of orange-yellow marker there, that's always a good indicator for us here at the TV station that this storm has a pretty good chance of producing some wind damage. I've been doing this a long time, using this type of equipment for a long time. When we see this, we usually have either a tornado reported or we have some pretty significant winds. So it wouldn't surprise me if we're going to be looking at that in Pickens County here over the next few minutes. So Carrollton right now in newsroom, if you're watching me, might be a good idea to give the folks at the EMA office a call, maybe the sheriff's office in Pickens County, see if they have any damage reports right now, get some of that ground truth, because our computers are giving us good indication that there could be something happening there at the surface. And this is going to be right there. Maybe Jill, you can read that road on your monitor a little bit better than I can.
Well, we have State Route 86.
Yeah, there we go.
And then we also now have, looks like Phoenix Avenue, County Road 12. And that signature is tightening up, JP. That looks like we've got a pretty decent hook echo now developing there. Again, that is, let me move up the map a little bit.
Yeah, right there, you see this? This is the hook Jill's talking about, right here.
So we're talking about, again, Reform 343, Millport 4 o'clock. So yeah, that cell is tightening up, certainly.
I bet our
rotation there.
I bet our rotation tracker, Jill, is really starting to tighten up.
You've got it right there. Reds.
Yeah.
And the reds are picking up.
When you start to see the reds and the greens, if we actually just manually track from here, if you track from right here, that's going to give us about as accurate of an indication of where that tornado would be that is technically possible. So Owens, looks like toward a Reform there. This is an area that is very concerning. All right, thank you very much. Angie's one of our producers, reporting no damage so far in Pickens County. That is according to the EMA there. And one thing, you know, if you know the Pickens County area very well, there's a lot of trees and not as many houses. So there's a good chance when you're running through Pickens County, you know this, Jill, from tracking storms out there, you may go for miles and miles, and this is the country. You know, you're not seeing a high population density, and every so often you see a house here. So when we see tornadoes develop, we like them to form in places where they're not going to do a lot of damage to people or property. And right now, this is going to cover a lot of land out there, but there's still folks that live in here in this area, so we want to make sure they're getting their first alerts, even some cities in there too. So Reform and right now the Carrollton area, this is going to be, at this point, just to the north of Carrollton. North of Carrollton, very heavy rain. We're seeing some lightning, and we do have that tornado signature right there. There's that little, really a little hook there at the bottom of the storm. And to the north, this is where the heavy rain is, and we're looking at that really, really intense lightning up around the Reform area and Highway 82. So the Weather Service is going to continue with this warning until 4 o'clock for Pickens County, rightly so. If it holds together, a first alert for Lamar County, just to the north there of Pickens County, you may be looking at this storm impacting you. It's moving fast, and that's one thing you need to remember about all the storms this afternoon. They're moving very quickly, and the movement's not west to east like they typically are because of the rotation of what's left of Harvey. You know, that little pinwheel spinning around there. Everything is moving to the north. Reform 343, that's going to be that time of arrival. And this is moving toward Carlos and Stanzel, and it looks like we're going to be seeing that storm around Beards Mill here before too long. You know, we totally missed our business opportunity. We should have become an Eclipse glasses vendor, and we probably would have been doing okay this week.
We could have. We could have done
WBRC logo in the corner
corner.
Yeah,
maybe.
what is it? Next time it's like 2050 or something. I'm going to be 80 years old, and I'll be out with my cart selling glasses, making a little
Write down this idea. Make eclipse
Yeah,
glasses.
it'd be my retirement fund. Let's go ahead and show you what's going on out there. And eclipse viewing forecast, rain, clouds, and wind. Let's check it out. On Monday, you can see the rain and the clouds, at least according to the data that we have today, is going to be in favor of us seeing the eclipse. It's going to be partly sunny, isolated afternoon thunderstorms. I think the best chance of rain probably after 2 o'clock. That's good news because the peak, at least here, is going to be 1:31 p.m. Let's get right to the radar, and no rain to be found across our neck of the woods. The radar is a clean sweep out there right now in Birmingham. Sky Vision camera. It's 77 degrees, dew point coming in at 70. We switch gears, UAB campus. Check it out. Current temperature 77 there as well. Dew point 70. Winds are calm, looking live at the green. And as we move forward through time, this is the hour by hour forecast. You'll notice the temperature is a little bit cooler off to the east early tomorrow morning. We're talking upper 60s, 73 for Tuscaloosa, 69 for Hamilton, 73 in Clanton. What about those rain chances as we move forward through time? Our future radar showing that possibility at least a little bit of rain coming in during the afternoon tomorrow. Where's that going to be? You can see that rain starting to develop in Mississippi, and then it moves into Marion County and Lamar counties. That's going to be our better opportunity for seeing some wet weather as we get into tomorrow afternoon. So a first alert, Hamilton, Vernon, perhaps even Fayette. Could see some of that rain drift down into Pickens County as well. So if you're watching in Carrollton or Aliceville, you may see a chance of some showers and thunderstorms. Not the case for the eastern part of the state. It looks to be dry there. So if you're watching in Pell City, you're going to be looking at temperatures in the lower 90s with plenty of sunshine. Partly cloudy tonight. No chance of rain. Northwest winds at about 3 to 5 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and take a look at tomorrow. And we're going to be dealing with some isolated thunderstorms. As I mentioned, that's a 30% chance of rain, mainly west of Interstate 65. Northwest winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Good opportunity tomorrow. Make sure you have the First Alert weather app. We'll be tracking any rain that does develop. And of course, the tropics. We've got a couple of systems down there we're watching. No immediate threats, but we have a tropical section there on our weather app that you can check out. 30% chance of rain on Saturday, 10% on Sunday, 30% on Monday. A little bit better chance of scattered storms coming up on Tuesday. And then toward the end of the week, back to some drier weather. Thursday and Friday, those rain chances pretty much non-existent. Thank you very much from Patrick Hollis in Sumiton for providing our wonderful 7-day forecast background picture. You can submit those photos via our weather app. That's the latest in your forecast. And we'll be tracking the weather right on through the weekend.